What do you think about wireless technologies used in schools and kindergartens and children using cell phones?
It is incredibly dangerous, incredibly stupid, and I think the people who authorise it should be locked away for the rest of their lives, because they shouldn't be walking around the planet. And the reason is, if you are a young girl or a young teacher, the microwaves are affecting the eggs, or the immature eggs, the follicles, in your ovaries, 400,000 of them. The radiation is 10 times more dangerous to this DNA than any other DNA in the body, and nobody knows why, it just is. So your eggs are already irradiated and could produce a genetically damaged child if you have one. The biggest danger comes when you become pregnant, because your fetus has your damage if it is damaged by it. But in the fetus, for the first 100 days, it is forming, if it's a girl, its own immature eggs, because they're born with all of them, unlike boys who make sperms. They're born with all of their eggs. So what you are now doing is you are having a fetus inside you, and the eggs as they are forming have no protection, absolutely no cellular protection. They haven't developed it. So you are now irradiating what would be your grandchild. And because the baby in your fetus would be your child, and the eggs inside the fetus will be when this child grows up and has her child. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is your grandchild, and this is where the biggest danger is. It is in the grandchildren, which won't be born for another 30 to 40 years. That is where the big problem. And this has already been shown with animals who reproduce every few years. We already know this is going to happen. So the people putting Wi-Fi in schools today, I think they should be sent to jail. I really do. Because they are going to cause this, and we don't know how many people it's going to affect, but we do know it's going to affect quite a few. They are going to affect the children to be born in 30 years' time, 30, 40 years' time. There has also been an experiment that shows microwaves affect it's called the P300 complex of the brain. In other words, and there are a couple of papers on this, a child will have delayed thinking. So if a child is sitting an exam, they won't be able to think of the answer straight away. It's delayed. And they'll almost, like a little bit like dyslexia, they won't be able to think of an answer straight away, or if there's an emergency in their life, there's just a slight delay. And it could affect their examinations, it could affect the whole of their lives. And this has also been shown.
What would your message be to parents and to schools and to kindergartens concerning wireless technologies?
Get rid of them. Get rid of them straight away. There is a solution. A solution is just to use a piece of wire about that long and use a fibre optic cable or a telephone line, and the problem is solved.